Hey everyone, I'm DT10 and in this video we'll be finishing off the 14th and 15th Doctor's TARDIS interior in vanilla Minecraft. So this is part 2 of the tutorial. Please go and watch part 1 if you haven't already. That is the first link in the description, as you'll need everything we did in that video to progress in this video. By the way, I've included a full material list in the description if you're building in survival, as well as a world download, both of which are also in the description of part 1. So if you end up enjoying this video, then please consider subscribing, as it would help me out a ton. But with that out of the way, let's get started with the first step of this tutorial, which is the walls. So as you are no doubt aware by this point, basically all of the walls in this TARDIS are made of pretty much 3 blocks: white concrete, white stained glass, and ochre froglights. So obviously we're using the ochre froglight and white stained glass combination to make the roundel/lights in this TARDIS. And as there is just so many, unlike some of my other builds, we're actually going to be doing this as we go. So for pretty much all of the walls, we're going to be alternating between white concrete and white stained glass. Normally, I'd say build them all out of white concrete and then go back later, but you would literally be doubling the amount of white concrete you need to use, only to basically break it all again, and it seemed a bit silly to do so. So it will make it a little bit more complicated, but I'll go through it a bit slower and try to make it as easy to follow as possible. So come over here underneath the entrance to this strip of white and grey concrete down here, and this is where we're going to start our walls with a nice outline going all the way around the concrete we've created. So we're going to alternate between white stained glass. We're going to start on this block of white concrete right here and place a block of white stained glass. We're then going to start alternating like this until we make it to the other side, where there should be another white stained glass. So we're then going to leave out all of the corners. So place a white concrete right here, then white stained glass, white concrete, and then right here where it sort of comes out, we're actually going to be creating the first of quite a few corridor entrance designs. So we're going to need quartz stairs, smooth quartz stairs, chiseled quartz blocks, and blocks of quartz. So it's going to be on a bit of a diagonal, this one. So start with a quartz stair, just a normal quartz stair, and place it right here facing in that direction. We're then going to turn around and place a block of quartz behind this stair like this, then another one next to it, and then come diagonally in front like this and place another one right here. Raise this up by further 2 blocks, so 1 and then 2 like that. Now we're going to return to our quartz slabs and basically place one in each corner. So come above the quartz stair we already placed and place one facing down this time. And then on the side of this block right here, we're going to place one facing in the other direction. And then finally the last direction down here. So you should end up with something which looks like this. Next up, place a chiseled quartz block in the middle right here. And then once we've done that, we're going to go to our smooth quartz stairs and place them in what will appear to be a bit of a random order, but you'll sort of get used to it as we build more of these corridor entrances. So start underneath this block and place a stair facing downwards like this. Then on this block right here, we're going to place one facing out to this side like that. And then on this top one, we're going to place one like this. And then finally, in front of this last quartz block, we're going to have one facing downwards in that direction. To add our finishing touches, we just need a block of white concrete underneath this smooth quartz stair right here. And then another block of quartz next to this smooth quartz stair on the side. Next up, we're going to continue outlining our shape. So we're going to resume it with some white stained glass right here. So come out next to this stair and then just continue the outline, alternating between these blocks. So once you've completed this section and made it to the middle with the sort of triangle looking thing right here, we're going to be creating yet another corridor entrance. And we're going to do it in exactly the same way, except it's going to be straight. So once again, we're going to start with our smooth quartz stair, place one right here like this, and then come behind and place a 3x3 of quartz blocks right here. Then we're going to place another quartz stair in each of the 4 corners with a chiseled quartz block in the middle, and then switch over to our smooth quartz stairs, place one facing like this, one facing in this direction, one facing in that direction, and then finish it off with one right here. So that is our normal, if you like, corridor entrance complete. Now, once again, it's time to resume. So we're going to start with our white stained glass and go all the way around until we get to here. Once you've placed these blocks, you guessed it, we're going to be making another corridor entrance. And this is another different variation because it's a complete diagonal. So each block is going to be on a different axis to the other ones. So we're going to start on the other side of this white concrete block, place our quartz stair facing in that direction, and then we actually need to place a few more blocks of quartz than the other ones. So we need one right behind this stair like this, and then create a diagonal line going across, placing an extra fourth one on this side. So you should have something which looks like this. Take this up by another 2 blocks, and now we're pretty much going to do what we did with the other one, but on this slanted axis. So go back to our quartz stairs and place one in this corner up here facing downwards like this. In this corner we're going to do the same thing, place one down here and then another one on top like that. Place a chiseled quartz block in the middle, and then our smooth quartz stairs are going to go right here, another one right here like this, another one here, and then finally another smooth quartz stair in this gap. So you should have something which resembles all of the other corridor entrances, just on a bit of a slant. So we're going to pick up our outline again, starting on the side of this quartz stair, this time with some white stained glass, and go until you get to this middle section. Once you get to the middle, we're just going to be doing the exact same entrance we completed over here. So if you need any help, just skip back a little bit to watch how we made that one. So you should end up with a design which looks something like this. So now obviously we're going to be resuming the outline. However, now we've pretty much completed half the TARDIS. The rest is basically the same. We're going to continue the outline all the way around here until we reach this point opposite the other door, and just place another corridor entrance right here. Then we're just going to continue the outline all the way up to here and place another diagonal door, and then just finish it off by connecting these couple of blocks. So I will pause at each corridor entrance just to make sure you get the right idea, but that is pretty much it. So we're going to resume with some white concrete on the side of this quartz stair. If you've done everything right, you should end up with another white concrete on the side of this sort of triangle bit, and we're going to place another door. And then once this corridor entrance is in place, resume on the other side with some white concrete. Like I just mentioned, when you get to this sort of diagonal set of white concrete blocks, we're going to be creating another diagonal corridor entrance just like we did on the other side. You should have a white stained glass block here. You're going to place your first quartz stair off of that, and then just replicate the exact same thing we did over there. Once again, feel free to skip back to that part of the tutorial to see how we did it. Once you've got this, we're going to resume with some white concrete on the side of this quartz stair and just bring it all the way up until it connects with this glass block. And if you've done everything correctly, you should be able to place a white concrete right here, and it connects up perfectly. So apologies, I did sort of speed through that second half, but it's because this is literally one layer of the TARDIS and we have a lot more of these to go. Our next step is to switch over to some smooth quartz slabs and just place a slab on top of all of these white concrete and white stained glass blocks. So literally just do this going all the way around your TARDIS. So once you've got something which looks like this, just head over to the diagonals, and we're going to be destroying this smooth quartz slab and this smooth quartz slab. Do exactly the same thing on the other side, so just the closest slab to the door on either side needs to be destroyed. And then finally come over to the right hand side of the entrance, so this door right here, and break this slab as well. That is to make way for the next layer of the walls, which is what we'll be constructing next. So the way we're going to be constructing this next layer is actually pretty simple. This entire layer is white concrete, so we don't need to flip between the glass and the concrete or anything. So we're going to start on the block where the slab was that we just destroyed and place a white concrete, and then we're basically going to come around and place a white concrete on the side of all of these slabs going around like this. When you get to the first corridor entrance, you're just going to resume it on the other side until you get to right here, where we're just going to place the block on top of this white concrete. Do the same thing on the other side, starting on top of this glass block and then going all the way around until the corridor entrance. Continue on the other side, and then there's just one difference when we get to this corner. So we're going to place 2 blocks like this, and then we're going to place 2 more smooth quartz slabs right in the middle, so in line with all of these blocks here, and then place 1, 2, 3 concrete blocks behind like this. Then continue going all the way around until you meet up with the other corridor. Apologies, I've just realised that I forgot to do what we did with the diagonal on that side, on this side. I kind of forgot we had to do it here as well. So come to the direct middle of the TARDIS right here, diagonally I mean, and then destroy these 2 white concrete blocks, replace them with smooth quartz slabs, and then place 1, 2, 3 white concrete behind, just to extend it out a little bit. So that is us done with this layer, and we're basically going to do exactly the same thing on top, this time with some white stained glass as well. So this one is the easiest one so far, I reckon. You just need to start on top of this white concrete block right next to the corridor entrance, place a white concrete and then a white stained glass, and just alternate all the way around on top of the white concrete blocks that we just placed. Real quick, when you get to this corridor entrance, you're going to resume with white stained glass on this side. When you get to the diagonal entrance, you're going to resume with some white concrete, and then if if you do all of that correctly, following those steps at the other diagonal and straight ones, you should end up with another white concrete on the side of this corridor entrance, and all of the white stained glass blocks should be perfectly in line. So we're now going to place another full row of white concrete and then another one alternating between the glass and the white concrete on top of this. This includes above the corridor entrances, by the way. So place 3 blocks above here and then just go all the way around with a layer of white concrete. And then once you've got that, we're going to create another layer of alternating between the white stained glass and the white concrete. One thing to note though is you don't need to place any white stained glass between these 2 smooth quartz slabs right next to the entrance. So you can just place white concrete where those glass blocks would be. So once that's completed, we're going to be doing our next layer, which is white concrete. However, we're going to be adding some corridor entrances as well. So our first corridor entrance is going to be going on a bit of a sort of seemingly random block. It's going to be starting on top of this white stained glass right here. So place a quartz stair right here. For reference, this is the first corridor entrance we created. Sort of count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, and then on the 6th place your stair. And then we're going to be doing another one of these entrances, except this time across these 3 blocks. So it's on a bit of a different slanted diagonal than this one was, but everything stays exactly the same. So a block of quartz behind here, 2 more behind like this. Carry this up by a further 2 blocks, and then we need another quartz stair like this. 1 right here on top of that glass block, and then 1 like this. We're going to place a chisel quartz in the middle and then do our smooth quartz stairs. And as it's on a diagonal, we just need to place an extra block of quartz behind this smooth quartz stair right here. Our next corridor entrance is once again on a bit of a seemingly random block. We're going to come in between these 2 corridor entrances, the straight one and the diagonal one. And we're going to start on this white stained glass in the middle. So place a quartz stair right here. For reference, if you're counting from the straight one, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 blocks away. So we're going to start right here. Place your block of quartz behind. 1, 2, 3 like this going around. And then we've done enough of these by now that from here you should be good, but I'll carry on just in case very quickly. Carry it up by a further 2 blocks with your blocks of quartz. A quartz stair in each of the corners like this. A chisel quartz block in the middle, and then smooth quartz stairs facing in all of these directions. So you should end up with a corridor entrance which looks like this. Thankfully, our next corridor entrance is a straight one, so come to this straight one in line with the entrance on the opposite side, and then come to this row of 3 on the left, and this is exactly where we're going to be creating it. So quartz stairs on either side, blocks of quartz behind, and you should be able to figure out the rest. As with all of the other ones, if you need any help, just go back and watch the section where we built the other straight ones. Next up, we're going to come all the way round to this diagonal right here, and we're actually going to be creating a perfect diagonal entrance. So once again, feel free to go back and watch the tutorial for that diagonal one if you need to, but obviously find the perfect middle and then start on this white stained glass block. Place your blocks of quartz behind, 4 of them like this. Raise this up by 2 blocks. Place your other quartz stair facing into the other blocks on the other side. Do the rest of your quartz stairs as well, and yeah, just basically keep going like this. So once that one's done, there is just one more that we need to make, and is all the way over here. Once again, between these 2, the middle one and then the diagonal corridor entrances, but this time on the opposite side. And it's going to be going in the exact same place. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks away from the straight one. And on this white stained glass, place your first quartz stair and create your entrance right here. So with this final one, we are done with all of the entrances on this level. So now we just need to go all the way across the top of all of these white concrete and white stained glass blocks with a full layer of white concrete. And then to save a bit of time, once you've done that layer of white concrete, we're going to repeat the pattern again a further 4 times. So alternating between white concrete and white stained glass on top of here, another layer of white concrete, another layer of alternating, and another layer of white concrete. So let's do that now. So you should now have something which looks like this, and this is where this TARDIS really starts to come together. One thing to note, by the way, is make sure you place an extra block of white concrete behind these 2 smooth quartz slabs to finish off that section of the wall behind the entrance. So now it's going to get a little bit more complicated as the roof is going to start slanting upwards into a bit of a dome shape. Before we get started on this dome, however, we're going to make a little bit of a detour over to this corner right here. So the one basically opposite the entrance, and we're going to be constructing the monitor that sits on the wall of this TARDIS. The reason we're doing this now is because it's a lot easier to build the dome around this monitor than place it after the dome's already been built. So you're going to need all of the following blocks that you can see in my hotbar, and we're going to start above this corridor entrance right here on this white concrete. So first of all, grab some smooth quartz blocks and place one coming out of the top of this white concrete block right here. Then next to that, we're going to place a white concrete block. We're going to place another white concrete block in front of this one right here. And then we're going to place a smooth quartz block in front of both of these like this. We're going to place another smooth quartz block right here. And then underneath this smooth quartz block, we're going to place a smooth quartz slab, another one behind it, and then another one in front of it like this. We're going to place another one behind like this, and basically continue this outline until we get to this block right here, and we're going to stop. So right here, we're going to create a bit of a backwards L shape with some white concrete. So right next to where we place this smooth quartz slab, we're going to place a block of white concrete in this gap here, another one next to it, and then two more on top of that like this, so you get this sort of backwards L. We're now going to grab a smooth quartz stair and place it on the side of this white concrete block facing this way and downwards like this. And then on top of that, we're going to place two smooth quartz blocks. At the top here, we're going to place another smooth quartz block, but this time one block in front like this. And we're going to place another one next to it with a smooth quartz slab in front of both of these. Then place another smooth quartz block on the side of this smooth quartz slab with another slab in front of it like this. Another block on the side of this slab with another slab in front of it, and then another block on the side of this slab with another one in front of it like this, finishing it off with an extra smooth quartz slab on the side of this block. So you should have a shape that looks like this. It should be pretty symmetrical. To finish off this sort of strange looking outline, we're going to come to where we started with the smooth quartz block and place two more smooth quartz blocks on top with a third one block in front like this. So this monitor is a really weird shape, but that is almost our outline complete. We now just need two more smooth quartz blocks, and you're going to come to this block just next to the sort of middle of this monitor and place two more smooth quartz blocks on top of it. So these gaps are our monitor screens effectively, and we're going to be filling these with diorite and calcite, but really you can fill them with whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of a random combination of these two blocks. So starting down here on these smooth quartz slabs, I'm just going to sort of randomly mix these and then carry it up by a further two blocks like this, so you get a monitor screen, and then do exactly the same thing over here. I'm just going to do sort of a pattern which looks something like that. So as weird as it looks, that is our monitor screen complete. So we're almost ready to build the dome, but we actually just need to build a few more corridor entrances first, 3 to be exact. But they're much easier than the ones we've already done because they're all perfectly straight. So like these ones we did down here, they're not on any weird diagonals or anything. So because these corridor entrances sort of jut out a bit from the wall we've already placed, we're actually going to start with the 3x3 of quartz blocks behind instead of starting with our quartz stair. So come to the very edge of this line of 9 on the right hand side of the entrance and place a quartz block right here and two more next to it like this. Carry this up by a further 2 blocks and then place quartz stairs in each of the 4 corners and just mimic the corridor designs that we've already done loads of times in this TARDIS. Once you've got something which looks like this, we're going to turn 90 degrees to the wall just next to the monitor, and 1 block in on this line of 9 is where we're going to be placing our next corridor entrance. So on these 9 blocks right here, just build another entrance. And then once you've got something which looks like this, our final entrance is going to be going on the 3rd wall over here, and this time it's going to be 2 blocks in from the left on this line of 9. So just count 1, 2, and then place your quartz blocks right here and complete the entrance. So you'll probably be pleased to know that that is actually us completely done with all of the corridor entrances in this TARDIS. So now we need to finally crack on with the rest of the walls of this TARDIS leading up to this polished diorite. So this is where the walls start to get a bit more complicated, but don't worry, we're still just going to be using white concrete and white stained glass. So come to the right hand side of the entrance, and we're going to be placing a white concrete 1 block in front of this one in this gap here with another one in front of it like this. we're then going to start our outline. So white stained glass, white concrete, white stained glass. And then as we've done for all of the circles so far, we're going to leave out the corners. So our next block is going to go right here. So there is one exception to this, and that is in the direct middle of the TARDIS, where in order to keep this symmetrical, we actually need to place another block of white concrete right here instead of a white stained glass. It's sort of difficult to describe the exact diagonal center of a circle because obviously in real life circles don't really have that. So yeah, it's just the block right here. It's a single block on its own that lines up perfectly with the middle of the TARDIS. And then on the other side, we're going to keep going with our white concrete and white stained glass until we get to here, right next to the corridor entrance, where we're going to place another white concrete here, and then instead of placing a white stained glass in this gap, we're going to place another concrete block next to it, and then one behind it like this, creating a little bit of a mini L shape. So now we're going to resume on the other side of the corridor entrance, starting with some white stained glass, going all the way along until the end of this line of 9, where we need to place an extra block of white concrete in front of this one, and then continue with our white stained glass. So once you reach the monitor, we're going to just skip over to the other side next to this white concrete, and start right here with a white stained glass, and then continue along to here where we need to place another white concrete behind as well. By the way, there is a pattern to this, so we're going to be placing these sort of 2 white concrete on the edges of all of the lines of 9. So we're going to be doing it on the other side, and you'll probably notice that we did it over here when we started at the entrance. The only place where we haven't done it is right here, and that's because we've got a corridor entrance here, so instead we placed it a little bit off to the side. So anyway, enough of my ramblings. We're going to continue with a white concrete right here next to the quartz stair. Keep going until we get to here where we're going to place an extra white concrete in front, and then just keep going all the way around, leaving out all of the corners, making sure that when you get to the direct diagonal middle above this corridor entrance, you place a block of white concrete here and then another one next to it before you continue alternating. Once again, just before we get to this corridor entrance, we're going to place 2 blocks of white concrete with a white stained glass next to it. We're going to continue on the other side with another white stained glass. Then when we get to this corner, 2 white concrete once again, and then you should just be able to finish it off going all the way round to here. Just remember to once again place an extra block of white concrete when you get to the diagonal middle. So you should now have something which looks like this on either side of the entrance, and then to finish it off, we're going to place a white stained glass on either side with a white concrete next to it like this. I did say that this is where the walls start to get a little bit more complicated. We do get a bit of a break now though, so we're just going to go all the way along all of the blocks we just placed with some white concrete. So just creating another layer all the way across the top. You don't have to place any on top of this as it won't be visible. Going all the way around with some white concrete. So when that's done, you should end up with something which looks like this. However, that's not quite us done with this layer. We're going to be fleshing it out a little bit in these sort of corners on each of the sides, excluding the one with the monitor on, obviously. So we're going to start on the right hand side of the entrance on this line of 4 white concrete blocks. And basically, wherever there's a corner like this where 2 blocks meet, we're going to place an extra white concrete. So one here, one next to it like that, one in this corner, one in this corner, and then another one next to it like that, and then we're going to stop. That is pretty much all we've got to do on all of the sides. The only exception to this is over by the monitor, where we're just going to come to the left hand side and place 1 white concrete above this white stained glass, and then another white concrete above this white stained glass on the other side. So for both of the other sides, we're just going to do what we did over here. So start on this line of 4 and place a block right here, here, and then one next to it, one in this gap, one right here, another one here, and then one right here as well, and then just do the exact same thing on the other side. Thankfully, this next layer is relatively easy. We're just going to be alternating between our white stained glass and white concrete, with pretty much no exceptions this time, going all the way along the outline we've just created. I'd start above the entrance on the left hand side, where we're going to place a white stained glass block, then start alternating like this, and just literally continue going on the outermost blocks. So you don't need to worry about any of the blocks behind these, as they won't be visible. Just continue outlining all the way around. Apart from when you get to here, where this weird bit juts out, instead of placing a white stained glass here with a white concrete block behind it, we're just going to replace this glass with a normal white concrete. Everywhere else around the TARDIS though, we're just going to do this completely normally. So the other side of this corridor entrance, we're going to resume with some white stained glass. On the other side of the monitor, in this gap right here, we're going to also resume with some white stained glass and fill in these 4 blocks. And then on the other side of the corridor entrance, we're this time going to start with some white concrete like this. And then on the other side of this corridor entrance, we're once again going to continue with some white stained glass and just finish this off, meeting up with the white stained glass above the entrance. So if you've done everything correctly, you should finish off with a white concrete next to this white stained glass, and it should look something like this. So this next layer is super simple. We're just going to do another layer of white concrete, this time one block in front of all of the blocks we just placed. So go all the way around like this and leave in all of the corners. There are no exceptions to this, just leave in every single corner. When you get to the monitor, we're just going to join it up with this smooth quartz block, and there's nothing else we need to do, and then just resume in this gap on the other side, going all the way around. So it should now look something like this. One thing you may have noticed going around though is that there's sort of gaps above and to the side of these corridor entrances where you can sort of see through the gap in the smooth quartz stairs. To fix this, we're just going to place a white concrete block here and here on this corridor entrance. We're going to place them in exactly the same spot on this corridor entrance as well. And then on the final one, there's no need to place any on the sides since they're already covered, so we just need to place one on top. There are just 3 more blocks that we need to place to finish off this layer, and that is above this corridor entrance right here, which seems to have been causing quite a lot of problems, what with this bit as well. So all we need to do to make this completely symmetrical is place 3 white concrete blocks above it like this. Trust me, it may not look very symmetrical, but now you can see that we've got 5 blocks going across the middle on all 4 sides, and they should be directly aligned with the center of the TARDIS. It's just this that makes it look a little bit uneven. Before we move on to the next layer, however, we just need to place one more white concrete block, and that is on the right hand side of this monitor, just here next to this smooth quartz block. And now we're free to carry on. So for our next layer, we're going to start above the entrance and just go all the way around one block above and in front like this, leaving out all of the corners, alternating between white concrete and white stained glass, going around like this. The only exception to this is when you get to the diagonal center. Instead of placing a white stained glass right here, you're actually going to place another white concrete and then continue going for symmetry, just like we did under here. So now that we're above the monitor, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So when you get to this white stained glass, it should be sort of diagonally across from this smooth quartz. We're going to place a white concrete right here with another one in front of it. Then we're going to place a white stained glass right here, a white concrete here, another white concrete next to it, as this is actually our diagonal middle, and then resume with a white concrete on the other side, a white concrete right here, a white stained glass here, and then just continue going all the way around. So we just need to add 8 more white concrete blocks to this, and that's 1 on either side of this line of 5 in the middle above the entrance, and then the same thing on all of the other sides. So coming over here, just place an extra white concrete in front of the other white concrete on either side, and just do this for the final 2 sides as well. Once you've done that, our next step is to just go 1 block above all of this with some white concrete, including on the blocks we just placed. So basically just outline the entire shape 1 block above with some white concrete. You obviously don't need to do these blocks, by the way, as they won't be visible in the final build. This layer also needs some extra white concrete blocks, 7 on each corner to be exact. So starting from this line of 4 right here, we're going to place an extra white concrete in the areas where the next block of white concrete is either 1 block in front or 1 block behind the concrete next to it. If that didn't make any sense, just fill in all the corners and follow what I just did. We're now going to do this on all 4 of the sides. So our next layer is a little bit more complicated. We're once again going to be alternating between white concrete and white stained glass, except this time we're going to be placing 2 white concrete and then 1 white stained glass instead of just 1 of each. So start above the entrance on this line of 3 right here. On the right hand side, come 1 block above and in front, and place a white concrete block right here. We're then going to place another one in front of it with a white stained glass next to it, and then just start creating our outline, leaving in all of the corners, but this time placing 2 white concrete instead of 1. The only exception to this is right here where we come to the middle, and we're going to be placing 3 blocks of white concrete in a small little L shape like this, and then continue going on the other side. So yeah, just continue this pattern going all the way around, swapping between 2 white concrete and white stained glass, leaving in all of the corners as you can see me doing here. So once you've done that, our next layer is pretty simple. It's just another full white concrete layer, and we're going to go 1 block above and in front and leave in all of the corners. By the way, you do need to place an extra block right here on all 4 sides so that there's not a hole above this white stained glass. So yeah, just do this outline, leaving in all the corners all the way around. So as you can see, we're getting very close to these diorite slabs, which means we're very nearly done with all of the walls of this TARDIS. There's just 2 more layers to go. One of them is going to go in line with this layer we've just created, and we're going to alternate between white concrete and white stained glass completely normally, and we're going to leave out all of the corners. So we're just going to go white concrete, white stained glass, white concrete, all the way around like this until we get to right here in the middle, and then we're going to do 2 white concrete, a white stained glass right here, and then 2 white concrete on the other side, and then just keep going like this all the way around. So you should now have something which looks like this. Finally, our last layer is really easy. We're just going to be filling in all of the gaps with white concrete, except it's going to go 1 block above. One thing to note though is you can't place any white concrete blocks above the white stained glass, as we're going to be placing ochre froglights there in just a second. So make sure you destroy any temporary blocks you place, and yeah, just do this, filling all of the gaps that we have at the top of the TARDIS. So there we go, the walls and ceiling of our TARDIS are very nearly complete. However, you'll notice that there is one thing missing, and that is of course all of the ochre froglights. So now we have the pretty monotonous task of going around and adding all of the ochre froglights behind each of the white stained glass. And there is a pretty easy rule to this, which is basically that wherever you can see the outside world, or rather see into the TARDIS from this angle, you just need to place an ochre froglight. So on the corners this will likely be 2. In some places, for example up here, this will be 3, but in most places it will just be 1 behind the glass blocks like this. There's one more thing we need to do though, and that is in behind the entrance right here, just fill these 2 gaps with white concrete instead of ochre froglights like this. And with that, it's time to start placing all the ochre froglights. Don't forget these glass blocks under here, by the way, they each need an ochre froglight underneath them as well as in front like this. Oh, wait a minute, one thing I've just noticed is we're actually missing a block of quartz right here on this corridor entrance, because I can see a little gap through this stair. Oh my gosh, and we're missing them on this side. So just next to the monitor as well, make sure you place an extra block of quartz right here and right here on the other side as well. Sorry, I completely forgot to do those earlier. So once that's completed, you'll end up with something which looks like this, and it will start to look a little bit dark around your console and stuff. That is something we will be fixing in the near future, but for now we are finally done with the walls, which means we can get on with the only remaining parts of this TARDIS other than lighting of course, and that is the rest of the platforms and then these spiral staircases. Right, so these 4 blocks right here are pretty much all of the blocks that we're going to be using for the rest of this build. The only other one being light blocks if you're in creative mode, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. So we're going to start with our mix of white and grey concrete and basically start building the platforms that come off of this central platform, which obviously has the console on it. And come to this line of 5 white concrete on the side. Place an extra white concrete right here, making it 6, and then we're going to come 1 block diagonally out and across like this, then place another block next to it like this, another one right here to make an L shape, another one behind it like this. Then we're going to come 1 block diagonally in front again like this, and just create exactly the same shape once again. And then this time on the end of this block, we're going to come 1 block diagonally in front to the right this time, and place another block next to it right here. And then we're going to come 1 block diagonally in front to the right again, and place another block right here. And we're going to be continuing this in just a second. So come back over to the main central platform and come to these 2 white concrete blocks right here. We're going to be placing another 2 white concrete coming off of it, making it a line of 4 like this. Then 1 block diagonally out and to the left like this. Another one like this with another block in front of it right here. And then once again out and another block in front, and then do the same thing again with a 3rd white concrete block right here, bringing us nicely to this corridor entrance. So now we're going to be filling a lot of this in with some grey concrete. So come back over to the main console platform, place a grey concrete either side, another one in the middle, and then another grey concrete either side. This time a white concrete in the middle right here. Then we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks of grey concrete right here. Another white concrete in this gap right here. Then place another white concrete in front of this one like this. Then we're going to fill in all of this space up until the corridor entrance with some grey concrete like this. Another 2 right here, and then we're going to place 2 blocks of white concrete in front of this froglight and glass block like this. And then we're going to stop because we're going to be carrying on with the rest of the platform that goes around the edge of this TARDIS. So starting at this white concrete right here, we're going to place a further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks coming off of it like this. Then we're going to come 1 block diagonally in front to the left and place 3 blocks in a line right here. Then we need another block right here, another block diagonally in front like this, and then we're going to turn around and place another block but coming behind it diagonally like this. fill in all of the space up to the wall with some grey concrete. And then once you've got this, every 3 blocks, we're going to create a line of white concrete, just like we started right here. So count 1, 2, 3 grey concrete, and then destroy these 2 and replace them with white concrete. 1, 2, 3, and then destroy these ones and replace them with white concrete. 1, 2, 3, destroy these ones, and then that is it, because our next one will be right here, which we've already built. And then we also need to grab ourselves some more grey concrete, and next to these white concrete blocks, place 1, 2, 3, 4 in a shape like this, and then a white concrete on the end of both of these blocks here, so 1, 2, like this. We are now ready to start with the spiral staircase, which will be going down to the bottom of the TARDIS and then also up to this corridor entrance over here. So we're going to start with the staircase going downwards, and unfortunately in most places the block placements are really quite random, so there's not really a good way for me to take you through this while explaining everything perfectly. So basically what I'm going to do is explain it as best I can, but make sure you pay really close attention to the video, pause it, watch it at a slower speed if you need to, all of that good stuff, so that you don't miss anything or place any blocks wrong. So we're going to start with some smooth quartz slabs, and we're going to start on this white concrete block here, place 2 like this, and then 1 next to it right here. Then we're going to switch over to some grey concrete and place an L shape of it 1 block below like this, with a white concrete on the end of it right here. We're then going to go back to our smooth quartz slabs and place 2 here and then 2 more right here. We're going to create another L shape of grey concrete 1 block below, this time looking like this. Place 2 more white concrete on the side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 quartz slabs in another L shape right here. Once again, we're going to go back to our grey concrete, come 1 block below and place a block of 4 right here with an extra one here, and then 2 white concrete next to them. Place a backward sort of L shape of smooth quartz slabs right here with another one in this gap, and then we're just going to place 2 more grey concrete, which you can just place on top of these quartz blocks. So now we need to start destroying these polished diorite slabs in order to make way for the rest of the staircase. So first of all, we're going to destroy this block right here next to the smooth quartz slab and replace it with a grey concrete block. Then we're going to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks like this, with an extra 13th block being broken just in this bottom corner. So you should end up with something which looks like this. We're now going to continue with our grey concrete, so place 1, 2, 3 blocks right here, and then 2 blocks right here at the bottom, a smooth quartz slab in that gap, and then 2 more in front of it. Then we're going to extend this line of white concrete with 2 more right here, and then 3 grey concrete to finish it off. So you should end up with a ramp, not a staircase. I don't know why I've been saying staircase. You should end up with a ramp which looks something like this. However, this was sort of the easy part, because now we need to create the spiral ramp, which is quite a lot more difficult. So we're going to come back over to the top of the ramp we just created, to this line of 2 grey concrete and 1 white concrete right here. So we're going to start with 2 smooth quartz slabs in front of this grey concrete right here, with a white concrete block on the end, and then 2 grey concrete behind like this. We're then going to need a line of 3 smooth quartz slabs coming off of this glass block, with an extra one on the end to create a bit of an L shape. We're then going to place a white concrete block in the middle, 1 coming out of it like this, and then 1 on either side, with an extra one in this gap right here next to the glass block. Next up, turn around, and we're going to continue with some smooth quartz slabs. So come 1 block above this white concrete and place 1 right here, then 2 right here, and another one on the end like this. We're going to need a white concrete in this gap, and then a block of 1, 2, 3, 4 grey concrete like this. Another white concrete on the end of this grey concrete block, and then we're kind of just going to replicate what we did right here. So we're going to start with this shape of smooth quartz slabs right here, with 2 more behind like this. Then we're actually going to place a grey concrete right here and turn it into a block of 4 by placing 1 next to it, and then 2 more behind it like this. We're going to place a white concrete block on the end right here, and another one diagonally across and in front like this. And then we're going to need the exact same shape of smooth quartz slabs once again. So our first one right here, one next to it, and then two behind it like this. And then we're just going to finish off the ramp with an L shape of grey concrete right here. Two more to bring it up to our corridor entrance, and then 1, 2, 3 white concrete on the edge. So that is our spiral complete. I apologize, that really is quite a complicated design, but there's no easy way to explain it because all the block placements are so random. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing another 2 times. One over here, and then one on this side as well. However, they're all a little bit different, so I'll take you through each one individually. So for our next walkway coming off of the main console platform, we're going to come over to this corner right here, in line with the one we just created. And this one is actually a little bit easier than that walkway. It's basically just an exact diagonal going all the way over to that corridor entrance. So start on the white concrete block on the right hand side, I guess, if you're looking at it from this way. And we're just going to come one block diagonally in front and just keep doing this all the way until we get to the wall, which is right here. So you should end up with just a full diagonal line of white concrete. We're going to do a similar thing on the other side. So come over to this block right here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of white concrete like this. But then we're going to place an extra 2 white concrete on the side of this one. So 1, 2 like this, and then we're going to place another one on the side of this, creating another L shape. There's a lot of L shapes in these walkways. So just like with the other walkway, we'll continue this in a second, but firstly we'll fill in everything we've got so far. So turning around and facing the console, we're going to start with 1, 2, 3 grey concrete right here, 2 white concrete like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks of grey concrete right here, another 2 white concrete, and then just fill in all of the remaining space with grey concrete. So just like we did over here, we're going to continue with our platform, starting with our white concrete outline. So on the side of this block, we're going to go 1 block diagonally behind like this, and place another 2 white concrete next to it. Then we're going to go 1 block behind and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks coming off of it like this. Another block in front of this one, and then come 1 block diagonally in front and to the left and place another white concrete next to it like this. So on this occasion, it's probably easier to put in the white concrete strips now as they're pretty symmetrical. So come over to this corner right here just after the line of 3 and place an extra block behind like this. Then count 1, 2, 3 blocks, and on the 4th, we're going to place 2 more white concrete behind it. And then on this corner over here, we're also going to place 2 blocks behind like this. Then we just need to place a white concrete block below this quartz stair next to the corridor entrance, a grey concrete block next to it, another grey concrete in front, and then 1 behind this white concrete block as well. And then just fill in all of the rest of the space up to the other corridor entrance with some grey concrete. So now we're ready to build our next ramp, which leads down to the bottom of the TARDIS. And the thing about these ramps that lead down is, unlike these spiral ramps, they're actually exactly the same on all 3 sides. So I will take you through it again, but I'll do it a little bit quicker. So if you want a more in-depth version, just go back a little bit and watch the bit where we did this initial ramp, or just copy it in your own build. So first of all, we're actually going to start with some white concrete. So come over to these 2 white concrete blocks and place 2 more coming off of the leftmost one. And then we're basically going to replicate what we did over here. So we're going to start with our smooth quartz slabs like this, an L shape of grey concrete with an extra white concrete on the end, 4 more smooth quartz slabs right here, another L shape of grey concrete right here with 2 more white concrete on the end, another L shape this time with our smooth quartz slabs. Then we need to place a block of 4 grey concrete with a 5th one on the end like this, and 2 white concrete on the left hand side, and then a smooth quartz slab in this gap with 3 more next to it. And then this is where we need to break a few of these polished diorite slabs. So we need to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks right here, and we're going to fill this space with 4 grey concrete blocks like this, 3 smooth quartz slabs right here, and a final grey concrete block to finish it off. And that is our second ramp complete. So as I mentioned, the next spiral ramp is a little bit different to the one we made over here. If anything, I'd say this one's actually a bit more of an accurate spiral than the one we did over here. So anyway, we're going to come to this corridor entrance right here and start with 3 smooth quartz slabs coming off of this white concrete block. And then we're going to have another white concrete behind this slab, a grey concrete next to it, and then a white concrete in front of this slab here. And then coming off of this, we're going to place 3 smooth quartz slabs in a diagonal line. So 1 behind this white concrete block right here, another one right here, and then another one bringing us up to this white stained glass block. And then we're going to place 2 white concrete blocks on the right hand side with a grey concrete block right here, and then 2 more white concrete behind it like this. Then we're going to place a smooth quartz slab in this gap and 2 more smooth quartz slabs behind these 2 white concrete blocks. We're going to place another smooth quartz slab on the other side of these white concrete blocks, and then we're going to place a grey concrete right here and also in front of this smooth quartz slab with a white concrete block between them, and then 2 more white concrete blocks right here. Next up, we're going to place a smooth quartz slab in between these white concrete, and we're going to place 2 more slabs behind this white and grey concrete right here. We're going to place a white concrete block in this gap and another one diagonally in front of it like this. And then we're going to have 2 grey concrete coming off of this white concrete with another one right here to create a bit of an L shape. We're nearly done now. Apologies, I know these are really complicated. But anyway, next up, we're going to have another L shape, this time made of smooth quartz slabs. And we're going to place it basically mirroring the other one. So 3 blocks right here with an extra smooth quartz slab coming off of the grey concrete L shape like this. And then we're just going to create a line of white concrete coming off of this smooth quartz slab going all the way up to the wall, and that includes underneath this corridor entrance. We're going to do exactly the same thing with some grey concrete next to it, and then finally we're going to do the same thing again with some grey concrete, this time just in front of this slab. And that is us done with our second spiral, and so our second section of walkway. We've only got one more to do, and that is on this side, and thankfully it's the easiest one so far because there is no ramp that goes down to the bottom of the TARDIS. It's a bit of a smaller walkway, and it's also straight, which means we don't have to worry about any of these dodgy diagonals or anything. So first of all, come over to these 3 grey concrete blocks on the edge, and we're going to place another 3 grey concrete right here. Place a line of white concrete right here, and then we're going to place a 3x3 of grey concrete with another line of white concrete like this. Place another line of grey concrete right here, and then next to it on the left hand side place another 3 white concrete. Then turn around and diagonally in front of this white concrete block we're going to place another line of 3, do the same thing again and place another line of 3, and then we're just going to finish it off with an extra white concrete in front of this glass block. Next up, just fill in all of this space with grey concrete right up until we get to the end right here. And then we're going to put in our lines as well. So come over to this corridor entrance and count 1, 2, 3 grey concrete blocks and destroy these 2 and replace them with white concrete. 1, 2, 3, and then destroy these 2 and replace them with white concrete. And then we've got a perfect 3x3, so we don't need to do anything here. So this is by far our smallest and most cramped spiral, and unfortunately that doesn't make it any easier. So we're going to start with some smooth quartz slabs and come to this 3x3 of grey concrete and place some smooth quartz slabs on top of these 2 blocks of grey concrete on the edge with another 2 behind like this. We're then going to create a bit of a T shape of grey concrete, so 3 across the wall like this with 1 more coming out right here, and then we're going to place a white concrete on the end of that. We're then going to create an L shape of smooth quartz slabs, so 2 right here with 1 behind it, and we're going to place a grey concrete behind that, 2 white concrete next to it, and another 2 white concrete right here, creating another L shape. Turning around, we're then going to place 3 smooth quartz slabs in front of these 3 white concrete blocks right here, with another one coming out like this. Place a grey concrete in this gap right here with a white concrete next to it. Do the same thing again, so a white concrete right here and a grey concrete next to it, and we're going to place an extra grey concrete on this side with a smooth quartz slab on top like this. We're then going to place 2 more smooth quartz slabs in front of these grey and white concrete blocks. We're then going to place a white concrete on the leftmost smooth quartz block right here, a grey concrete next to it with a white concrete block in front. We're then going to place 2 more grey concrete with an extra block in front like this, and then place a smooth quartz slab in this gap, another one in this gap right here with another one next to it like this, and then we're just going to take some white concrete, place it on the side of this smooth quartz slab, and 2 more until we're underneath the console entrance. Do the same thing with some grey concrete right here, and then 2 more grey concrete to finish it off. And with that, we are finally done with all of the spirals and ramps and everything. I'm really sorry, I know that may have been very hard to follow, but yeah, like I said, just make sure you pause it at regular intervals and stuff. Make sure you're following along. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave it in the comments, but there just wasn't really an easy way to take you through all that. However, as you can see, with that, we're actually very, very nearly done with this TARDIS. there is only 2 more details we need to add, and one of those is the railings. So all of these are going to be made out of white stained glass, and to be honest, this is really quite simple, because the railings basically go everywhere in this TARDIS. So start over by the entrance on this block right here, and basically what we're going to do is continue this all the way up until we get to here, and then just outline the entire console platform, leaving in all of the corners until we get to right here, where we're just going to go down the walkway, and you get the idea. Basically just go all the way around all of the walkways and stuff we've created with some white stained glass panes. So you should have something which looks roughly like this, where we've basically just outlined every single platform and everything we've created. So we are going to place some of these railings on these spirals and ramps as well. However, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we'll start over here on this one, and we're going to place one on this white concrete block right here, and then the rest of them we're just going to place a little bit randomly on all of the full blocks. So what I mean by that is obviously you can't place them on top of the slabs since they'd be floating. So we're just going to place one on this grey concrete, another one over here, another one behind it maybe. We'll place another one on this grey concrete, 2 more on this white concrete. You get the idea. I'm basically just going down and placing them wherever I see fit, to be honest. Yeah, so this is what I've come up with. It honestly doesn't really matter where you place them, as long as not too many of them are floating and you sort of just get a bit of that walkway carrying on down the ramps. So we're going to do the exact same thing on the spirals, although you will have to be a bit more careful on these, because obviously we can't just place them like this, in which case you wouldn't actually be able to walk. So make sure you do leave enough space for people to actually move around. One thing you can do when you get up here, by the way, is create a bit of an actual barrier going around, so you can sort of leave a few of them floating and make a nice little area where you actually have something stopping you from falling off the edge, instead of it just being a decorational feature. So there we go, this is what I've come up with. As I said, it really doesn't matter where you place these. The one thing I would say though is just make sure you place a few up here when we get to this corridor entrance on either side. So basically just do what we did here on the other 2 spirals, and then on the extra ramp as well. So obviously for this other ramp you can just replicate the one we did over here, since both ramps are exactly the same, and then for the spiral just make something up. It honestly doesn't really matter that much. So this is what I've done over here. I actually went for a slightly different design going down to the bottom of the TARDIS, and then just make sure you place the extra ones at the top here, and then finally just do it for this spiral as well. And there we go, this is what I've done for the final spiral. And with that, believe it or not, we are actually done with this TARDIS. However, there is one thing you've probably noticed by now, and that is that it is quite dark in some areas, particularly around the console, where we've not got the lighting from these Froglights all the way around the TARDIS. So in the show, or at least at time of recording, all we've seen of this is the 14th Doctor in the TARDIS, where it's very surgical and clean. We did get a few promo shots of Ncuti in the TARDIS, and it looks like he's going to have some very different lighting. So if you want, by the way, if you're watching this in the future, I guess what you can do is destroy some of these white stained glass and replace them with different colours, whatever he has in the future episodes. But yeah, it's very bright and surgical when David Tennant's in the TARDIS, not like these sort of dark bits we've got over here. So normally I try and fix that in the most vanilla way I can, but unfortunately there's not actually a lot we can do. The one solution I have is a bit of a cheaty method, and that is simply to use light blocks. So obviously this isn't something you can do in survival, but you can actually do it in Bedrock by doing the following command: /give @s and then just light, like this. So hit enter and you'll get yourself one of these, a light block. And these are invisible blocks which emit a custom light level, whatever you set them to, although we're just going to be keeping them at 15, which is their default. And then you can actually just walk through them, and as soon as you're not hovering over the light block, they are completely invisible. Yeah, there we go. Look, they're completely invisible. So these are basically perfect, and what I'd recommend doing is just spamming these all the way around the TARDIS. So there we go. This is what my TARDIS looks like after spamming a load of these light blocks around. And as you can see, I've really not been shy with these things. I've placed them absolutely everywhere. Actually, some of them aren't even appearing, but yeah, as you can see, I've placed a lot of these things around. And obviously, if you've got access to these, then you're playing with cheats on, so you really don't need to be sparing. Just place these wherever you think it needs them. In fact, I've just noticed that I've completely missed this section of the roof. That's a little bit dark, so I'd recommend brightening that up as well. So yeah, unfortunately, as I mentioned, there's not really a good survival alternative for this. Thankfully, it's not too much of an issue because all of these Froglights do emit a lot of light on their own. So as far as I'm aware, there's nowhere in the TARDIS that can actually spawn spawn mobs. In fact, I've just realised if you're playing on all modern versions of Minecraft, then mobs only spawn at light level 0, and it's definitely not light level 0 anywhere in this TARDIS, so you should be fine in that regard. And then if you want it to be bright, I'd recommend just installing a full bright resource pack or something along those lines. But anyway, with that out of the way, we are officially done with this TARDIS. So there we go. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you found it useful and relatively easy to follow. Across both parts, this has been a really long tutorial, and although it might not look like it, it is actually really quite a complicated build, especially all of the ramps and the spirals and the roof and everything. So if you did end up building the whole thing, then feel free to send me a picture in my Discord server. There is a link in the description, and that's also the place to go if you need any further help with this TARDIS interior, as well as in the YouTube comments. So as I mentioned at the start, there is a world download available in the description for this TARDIS, as well as a material list if you're building in survival. Please note that the material list isn't completely accurate, so for stuff like the white concrete and the grey concrete where you know that you're going to need loads of it, I'd recommend getting a few more blocks than it actually says to. Anyway, with that, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like or comment, and if you'd like to see more content like this, then please subscribe. But I've been DT10, and I will see you in the next video.